It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, we did it. We survived another Monday rolling along here on a Tuesday, and John has proclaimed it as Elvis Week.
Well, you know, I wasn't born when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And I was only 3 when President Kennedy was assassinated.
Okay.
So I don't remember that.
Missed out on a couple of historical events.
But I remember exactly where I was at when I heard that Elvis had passed away.
There you go.
Yeah, I was stacking lumber at Jesse Wood's Sawmill, Wood Lumber Company, about to start my senior year of high school the next week. And somebody walked down beside where we were standing and said that it had just come across the radio that Elvis had passed away.
Holy cow.
August the 16th, 1977.
And that was crazy, too, because he was just kind of started doing that big comeback and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, it looked like he had kind of got it turned around and everything.
Well, you know, there's been, you know, the thing of it was on August the 1st, you know, just 16 days prior to his passing away, 2 of his longtime bodyguards, and Red West had been with him since high school. Sonny and Red West, which were first cousins, had wrote a book about, you know, entitled Elvis, What Happened. Their dad had fired, you know, his dad had fired him. And after, you know, Red had been employed over 20 years and give him 2 weeks, you know, 2 weeks severance pay. And the speculation was that Elvis was going to hire him back after a couple of months, but they had wrote a book, you know. A lot of people took it different ways. A lot of them said they were selling their story, you know, to make a profit. Red West went to his grave saying that he loved Elvis and he was just trying to make him aware of what he was doing, the pills and all those things, and how, you know, how his life had spun out of control due to prescription medication. Elvis's view on it was if it was prescribed by a doctor, it wasn't illegal.
Right.
But, you know, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk in the last, all these years later, you know, 45 years now. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, that is.
45 years. But
regardless, a lifetime for some of us.
You know, Sonny and Red both to their, you know, always proclaimed that they didn't do it for profit. They didn't do it to sensationalize his life. They did it to try to.
They were trying to get a wake-up call.
That's right, you know. But I remember the day, like, you know, it's one of those days that you always remember. You know, we were all Elvis fans. I remember my brother taking me to the Malco Theater to see the Elvis movies. And you know, you watched them on TV. They'd come on TV on Saturday night. And it was, you know, he was Americana. I mean, he came up from nothing. The guy had a heart of gold, you know, and he, you know, even though he was overweight and he was dependent on prescription medication, his voice never failed him. Yep. He had the same voice. He had the same range. He was Americana. He was the rags to riches success story that everybody reaches out there and tries to grab.
And that's probably, I think, excuse me, the main reason why everybody gravitated towards Elvis so much. I mean, yeah, the music was great. I mean, let's face it. And he was international, biggest mega superstar out there in the world at one point and all that kind of stuff. But the reason why you keep coming back and everything is you still get to see the human behind the legend sooner or later.
Everybody's dream, you know, is to go from, you know, the ultimate, go from the basement to the penthouse.
Yep.
And, you know, Elvis he lived 20 years not being able to go get a hamburger. He couldn't walk down the street. He couldn't go to the movie. You know, he couldn't go to church. The guy couldn't go to church. He couldn't do those things that we all take for granted. And I'm going to tell you, I couldn't stand a month of that.
Yep.
And he had 20 years of it. So, you know, you can't fault him for whatever may have happened. You know, we really don't know. But everybody's brass ring, you know, you want to reach out there and grab it from the basement to the penthouse. And, August 16th, 1977, I remember, I heard about 3:30 that afternoon. We got off, I think, at 4:30. And I remember going home, and my mama had supper on the table. We turned on the news, and, John Chancellor on the news, and there it was. And, it was a big deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, the price of fame, man, you get all that glory and all that kind of stuff, but everything has a balance, and everything comes with a price.
And, of course, I got to tell my story Thursday that I tell every year about our trip to Memphis.
Going to Memphis, there you go.
So I have to tell that Thursday. So tune in Thursday and hear about my trip to Memphis, on the 18th of August, 1977.
Gives us something to look forward to already. That's going to wrap up Remember When with Uncle John. But we wouldn't be here without the financial support of our great sponsors, including the Prescott Raceway, 904-5952. Check them out at PrescottRaceway.net. You can find them on Facebook, or just give Jackie Lewis a call down at the Napa store in Magnolia, 234-2184.
ProMed Ambulance, 1-800-634-0436. Give them a call and get signed up.
Also, Sherwin-Williams House Paint, 315 Jefferson Street. Greg Bradshaw and his staff can get you pointed in the right direction with any of that house painting that you might need, inside or outside, 836-8125.
And JJ down at the Shopper's Guide. Give him a call if you got some stationery needs.
And last but certainly not least, if you miss us one day, you can always go back and listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. Find us on Facebook, or you can even find us on the Radio Works Facebook page. We'll see you tomorrow, John.
See you tomorrow, Kelly.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.